Beyond the veil of single reality, what happens when consciousness discovers its quantum nature? Pause for a moment, dear seeker, and consider this. What if every decision you've ever made, every path you've ever walked, every dream you've ever awakened from, still exists somewhere in the quantum field? Tonight, we journey beyond the illusion of singular existence into the realm where consciousness discovers its true nature, not as a prisoner of one reality, but as the cosmic architect of infinite possibilities. The ancient mystics whispered of this state, calling it enlightenment, but they could never have imagined that modern quantum physics would validate their deepest insights, what they experienced in meditation chambers and sacred rituals. We now understand through the language of superposition, entanglement in parallel worlds. You are about to discover why your consciousness is not confined to this dimension and how the very act of reading these words is already shifting you between realities. The observer paradox. When consciousness becomes the universe's remote control, the quantum realm has gifted us with perhaps the most mind-bending discovery in the history of science. Reality only becomes real when observed. This observer effect reveals that consciousness isn't just witnessing reality, it's actively creating it with every moment of attention. But here's where it gets deliciously mysterious. If consciousness shapes reality through observation, what happens when that consciousness expands beyond ordinary awareness into quantum enlightenment? Ancient sages understood this principle long before physicists discovered it in laboratories. They called it Maya, not because reality was fake, but because perception was programmable 12. The Vedic masters knew that what we experience as solid, unchanging reality is actually a fluid, responsive field that dances to the rhythm of consciousness itself. In quantum enlightenment, you begin to realize that you're not just observing reality. You're conducting a cosmic symphony where every thought is a note, every emotion is a movement, and every intention is a crescendo that ripples across dimensions. The universe isn't happening to you. It's happening as you. This is why meditation masters often speak of becoming one with everything. They've discovered that consciousness and cosmos are the same phenomenon experiencing itself from infinite perspectives. But quantum physics takes this even further. When particles exist in superposition, simultaneously in all possible states until observed, they're not defying logic, they're revealing the fundamental nature of consciousness itself. Your awareness in its natural state exists in a kind of cosmic superposition, capable of accessing multiple realities simultaneously until you collapse that infinite potential into a single experience through focused attention. The humor in all this, we've been trying so hard to find ourselves, when the real discovery is that there are infinite selves to find, each living in parallel realities, each accessible through the quantum nature of consciousness. It's like discovering you've been looking for your keys while holding an entire key factory in your other hand. Quantum entanglement, the cosmic Wi-Fi that connects all consciousness. If you thought Wi-Fi was impressive, wait until you discover quantum or entanglement, the universe's original internet connection. When particles become entangled, they remain mysteriously connected across any distance, instantly affecting each other regardless of space and time. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. But what if this spookiness is actually the operating system of consciousness itself? Recent research suggests that this quantum connectivity might explain phenomena that have puzzled humanity for millennia. Intuition, empathy, collective consciousness, and those uncanny moments when you think of someone just as they call you. The quantum field reveals that separation is the grandest illusion of all. Every consciousness is entangled with every other consciousness in an infinite web of instantaneous connection. In the state of quantum enlightenment, you begin to feel this entanglement directly. Meditation becomes less about quieting the mind and more about tuning into the cosmic network where all minds meet. You start to sense the thoughts, emotions, and experiences of consciousness across dimensions, not as foreign intrusions, but as natural extensions of your own awareness, expanding beyond the boundaries of individual identity. This is where the ancient concept of collective consciousness finds its scientific foundation. Those Buddhist teachings about interdependence weren't philosophical poetry. They were precise descriptions of quantum reality. When the Buddha spoke of no self, he wasn't suggesting you don't exist. He was pointing to the truth that your existence is so vast and interconnected that individual selfhood is just one note in an infinite cosmic symphony. The practical implications are staggering. In quantum enlightenment, healing happens not just within your own body-mind system, but ripples through the entangled network, affecting other beings across space and time. Your thoughts become prayers that reach everywhere instantly. Your emotional states become broadcast signals that tune others into higher or lower frequencies of experience. You discover that loving yourself isn't self-indulgent. It's a cosmic service, because in the quantum field, self and other are artificial distinctions. The beautiful irony: we've been searching for connection in all the wrong places. Social media, relationships, communities, when the deepest connection of all exists in the quantum substrate of consciousness itself, accessible anytime we stop believing in separation long enough to feel the entanglement that was always there. The many worlds revelation, why every version of you is living right now. Prepare yourself for perhaps the most mind-expanding insight quantum physics has ever offered. The many worlds interpretation suggests that every possible version of your life is happening simultaneously across parallel realities 912. That choice you didn't make. You made it in another world. That dream you never pursued. You're living it elsewhere. That person you never became. They exist right now in a parallel dimension. This isn't science fiction. It's the mathematical consequence of quantum mechanics taken to its logical conclusion. Every quantum interaction creates a branching point where all possible outcomes occur. Not just 112. Reality isn't a single timeline, but an infinite tree of possibility, with consciousness threading through one branch while infinite others continue in parallel. But here's where quantum enlightenment becomes truly revolutionary. If all these realities exist simultaneously, and consciousness is the bridge between them, then awakening and awareness can begin to access information, wisdom, and even abilities from these parallel selves. This explains why mystics throughout history have spoken of sudden downloads of knowledge, inexplicable talents emerging overnight, and profound transformations that seem to come from nowhere. In deep meditative states, advanced practitioners often report experiencing multiple lifetimes simultaneously, accessing memories that feel both foreign and familiar, or suddenly understanding complex concepts they've never studied. These aren't hallucinations, they're glimpses through the quantum mirror into the lives of parallel selves, each developing different aspects of the infinite potential that consciousness represents. The ancient Egyptian concept of the duat, the realm of multiple souls, wasn't mythological symbolism, but an intuitive understanding of parallel realities. They knew that consciousness doesn't have just one journey, but countless simultaneous adventures across dimensions, each contributing to the total evolution of awareness itself. This revelation transforms how we understand personal growth and healing. Instead of trying to become someone new, quantum enlightenment involves recognizing and integrating the wisdom, skills, and experiences of your parallel selves who have already achieved what you're working toward. It's like discovering you're not alone in your journey. You have an infinite team of alternate selves, each mastering different aspects of existence, all accessible through the quantum nature of consciousness. The cosmic joke: we have been trying so hard to figure out our purpose when we actually have infinite purposes being fulfilled simultaneously. The question isn't, what should I do with my life? But which life should I tune into today? Vibrational frequencies, the quantum language that speaks all realities. Every thought, emotion, and state of consciousness operates at a specific vibrational frequency, creating what quantum theorists now recognize as the universe's fundamental communication system, Hard 10. Ancient wisdom traditions understood this principle intuitively. They spoke of different realms, dimensions, and states of being that could be accessed by attuning consciousness to specific frequencies, much like tuning a radio to different stations. Modern research reveals that this isn't metaphorical, it's measurably real. Brainwaves synchronize with quantum fields, creating resonance patterns that connect individual consciousness with universal information networks. The Schumann resonances, Earth's own electromagnetic heartbeat, correlate directly with human brainwave patterns, suggesting that our consciousness naturally attunes to cosmic frequencies when we learn to listen. In quantum enlightenment, you begin to perceive reality as a vast symphony of vibrating information, with each frequency containing entire worlds of experience. Fear, love, anxiety, joy, confusion. Clarity, these aren't just emotional states, but vibrational addresses in the quantum field, each one tuning you into different aspects of reality in different parallel versions of yourself. This is why meditation masters speak of raising your vibration. They're describing the literal process of tuning consciousness to higher frequency bands, where more evolved versions of reality become accessible. It's not about becoming better than others. It's about accessing the bandwidth where your most expanded self already exists and has always been broadcasting. The practical applications are profound when you understand that every problem exists at a certain frequency and every solution exists at a higher one. Transformation becomes a matter of conscious frequency, modulation rather than effortful struggle. You don't solve problems. You tune into the reality where they never existed. You don't create abundance. You align with the frequency where abundance is your natural state. Indigenous cultures knew that sound could open doorways between worlds because sound is the bridge between dimensions, carrying consciousness from one vibrational reality to another. The delightful paradox. We've been trying to change our external circumstances when the real art is changing our internal frequency. It's like trying to get different TV channels by rearranging the furniture instead of simply changing the station. The holographic universe. Why your consciousness contains everything. Quantum physics has led us to one of the most stunning revelations about reality. The universe may be holographic, meaning that every part contains the whole. In a hologram, if you break off any piece, that fragment still contains the complete image. Applied to consciousness, this suggests that your individual awareness isn't separate from universal consciousness. It's a perfect microcosm containing the entire cosmic pattern. This holographic principle explains why mystics throughout history have reported experiencing cosmic consciousness, moments when individual awareness expands to encompass all of existence. They weren't having hallucinations. They were accessing the holographic nature of consciousness itself. In quantum enlightenment, you begin to recognize that every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every experience you have creates ripples throughout the entire holographic field. This is why spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of inner work. When you heal, awaken, or evolve any aspect of your consciousness, affecting all of existence. But here's where it gets wonderfully paradoxical. If your consciousness contains the whole universe, then accessing different realities isn't about going somewhere else. It's about recognizing what's already present within your own awareness. Those parallel selves, those alternate timelines, those infinite possibilities aren't external destinations, but internal discoveries waiting to be recognized. This holographic understanding revolutionizes how we approach personal transformation. Instead of trying to acquire new abilities or create new circumstances, you're not becoming someone new. You're remembering who you've always been beyond the limitations of singular identity. Ancient Hermetic traditions encoded this wisdom in the axiom as above, so below. They understood that the patterns operating in the cosmos are identical to those operating within individual consciousness. The same quantum principles that govern the behavior of subatomic particles also govern the behavior of thoughts, emotions, and experiences within the holographic field of awareness. The cosmic humor in all this. We've been searching everywhere for meaning, purpose, and fulfillment when we're literally carrying the entire universe within our own consciousness. It's like being a library who's forgotten they contain all the books. The ultimate state of quantum enlightenment occurs when consciousness achieves what physicists call quantum coherence, a condition where all possible states exist in perfect harmony rather than chaotic conflict. Instead of being fragmented across multiple realities, awareness becomes a unified field that can access and integrate information from all dimensions simultaneously. This coherent state explains the profound peace and clarity that advanced meditators describe. They're not escaping reality, but finally experiencing all realities as one unified cosmic dance. The anxiety of choosing between possibilities dissolves when you realize you can embody the wisdom of every choice simultaneously. The fear of missing out transforms into the joy of missing nothing. Because in quantum coherence, all possibilities are perpetually available. Practically speaking, quantum coherence manifests as an effortless flow state where synchronicities become commonplace. Intuition becomes precise, and manifestation becomes instantaneous. You're no longer struggling against reality, but flowing with the quantum current that carries all realities within its stream. Decisions become easy because you can sense the outcomes across multiple timelines. When consciousness achieves quantum coherence, the cosmic joke becomes apparent. We've been taking the game of separation so seriously when all along we've been playing different characters in the same infinite story. Enlightenment isn't about transcending the human experience, but about laughing with recognition at the brilliant comedy of consciousness hiding from itself, and then rediscovering its true nature through countless adventures across infinite realities. The ancient Zen tradition of sacred laughter emerges from this recognition. When you truly understand the quantum nature of consciousness, the whole cosmic drama becomes simultaneously profound and hilarious. A divine comedy where every tragedy is temporary, every separation is illusory, and every ending is actually a new beginning in another dimension. And so, fellow quantum navigator, you arrive at the threshold where ancient wisdom meets cosmic science, where mystical experience finds scientific validation, and where individual consciousness recognizes its infinite nature. You are not just awakening to who you are awakening as the universe itself, playing the grandest game of hide-and-seek across infinite dimensions. Continue exploring these quantum mysteries, for each insight brings you closer to the ultimate recognition. You are not in the universe. The universe is in you, and every moment offers the choice to access any reality that consciousness can conceive.